there's a whole DXD game that came out like, what, 2 weeks ago? And when it comes down to it, boy oh boy does this not feel like a game, and boy oh boy does this feel like shit. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, this is not a fun time. As you can clearly see on the screen, this is terrible. This looks really bad. So why is this even a thing? I'm not gonna lie, like when you hear about DXD, anybody is literally going to know that, you know, people are mostly looking for season 5 and things of sort like that, not cash grab McGee from McDonald's that you've seen down the street. This is not what people want to see, obviously. Like this is just really damn bad. This game is not fun. It is not necessarily fun at all. It is very much here to take your money, and that's essentially all it is. And what sucks about this is DXD could be so much more, right? Because I believe there's like a whole JoJo's game with this very same format that exists right now. And very much all it is just a cash grab ass game. Why do these high-end IPs, even classic IPs, feel like they need to resort to these methods to just, you know, get money for anything? It's weird. It is so weird, right? Like, I've been playing this for a good, like, I'll say probably across the whole time I've been playing it for like a good 2 hours maybe. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie, this is just really trash, right? The only good thing that comes out of this stuff is like the art of the characters, but barely even that, right? There's not really much to be had here that is really good. I highly doubt they'll add characters and just really add more skins than anything. It's just not really good ass experience. It really isn't. And my whole thing is, again, DXD could be so much more, especially if you want to generate, you know, I guess like a purpose for your IP and to get new projects to be done and funded. There's ways to go about this that is so much better than what the hell this game is, right? And let's not even get into the whole fact that this is basically the shittiest version of a gacha that you could possibly play, considering the fact that literally it's hard as hell to get any good character. Yes, I might have gotten Zenobia, Irina, and I believe like I don't know, Seraphol, right? And I believe now I just got like Hiroka not too long ago, which they didn't need to do her description like that. Not gonna say her lie. They did her description pretty dirty, not right, not on her side, but when it came to reference to Konako, because I believe the description was like, oh, when it comes down to it, if you contrast this from Konako, Kuroku has voluptuous figure and her boobs are about to bust out of her damn kimono. They're about to spill out. I'm just like, you did not need to do the damn Konako disrespect. You are a whole ass DXD game. You did not need to do that shit. I'll be honest. I feel offended as the #1 husbando for Konako. Can I be real for 5 seconds? Like, I'm about to beat someone's ass for whoever wrote that description. Who came up with it so I can beat your ass directly? But when it comes down to it though, you know, it just, again, still, why would you need it in this damn way, right? Like, if you're gonna get people amped up for DXD in any shape or form, a proper video game would be the way to go. I'm not saying it needs to be AAA. I highly doubt we'll ever see a very much lewd, big booba anime game with, you know, AAA graphics and stuff like that going to the full 9 yards of how much they can show. But if you're gonna have a game like this, at least let it be something that is like worth a damn to play, right? That is at least a little fun to play, instead of basically letting the gameplay itself having a story mode option that literally gives you no story whatsoever, and just something, again, fun. This is not fun. This game is ass. If I'm being honest, this is the pinnacle of just like ass the game. It's not really all that great. Getting other new characters is like hard as hell to do, because I've been trying to get Konako for like the longest of time and I still haven't gotten her ass, right? So it's just very weird and it's strange. It's just not really a fun experience of a video game. It just isn't. If you wanted to, you could do even like the basics of ideas, like what 100 Defense Line Academy is doing with the whole tactics. Like, elements of their game. You can literally do that for DXD with nice CG in the middle of stuff and combat, whatever. That would have been way more better and acceptable of a game than whatever the hell this video game is, right? You could literally do like so many other options of a video game that they just don't do. Like, I believe you have like a whole collaboration with Simmering Kagura at times, and you have 3D models in that game. Why the hell do you not use something like that and then make a DXD game versus that? You know, again, this is not how you get people to want to care for the product. In fact, I'd say this is kind of a spit in the face to anybody that likes DXD, if I'm gonna be honest. It just feels that way, where it's not necessary, right? And then with how things are going, especially just looking at DXD as a property overall, with them especially kind of, you know, promoting that junior high school DXD storyline, I don't want to say this, but I feel like they're trying to ramp that up more than the actual storyline of regular DXD, which is a bit of nonsense, I'm not gonna lie, because whenever the next season comes out, or whatever the next anime project comes out, I'm not gonna lie, if it's not the next season where Konoko's supposed to act really crazy and horny all type of energy, all of that type of stuff, and we get some random ass shit I don't care about, I'm gonna be actually mad. I'm gonna be actually pissed. And I feel like there's a valid reason to feel that way, if I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Because people, no matter how you feel about it, they've been asking for a season 5 for so damn long, right? We've been asking for season 5 for so damn long at this point. It just like, come on, just say something, or at least recognize that people still want it, because there is people constantly, day after day, still looking for DXD in some shape or form, trying to figure out what the hell they can do. That's why you got so many different AUs on YouTube and other places that still make stories and write about it, because they miss the hell out of what DXD is, right? Because it's just that good classic ass booba show that we all can just appreciate. That is how it is. And it seems like no matter how many times you buy the whole content of the series, whether it's the books, whether it's the, you know, the whole DVD collection, which doubt anybody has the DVD collection to buy anymore because of how weird physical copies of stuff you've been getting. And then you have, like, obviously, you know, like other promotional DXD stuff. Like, you can have all the DXD stuff in the universe, and for whatever reason, it's still not enough. Like, I get it, making an anime takes a long ass period of time. That's fully understandable, but when it comes down to, you know, just like properly showing what the hell is good, what's popping off when it comes down to, you know, an actual show, it shouldn't take that much. It really shouldn't take that much. I'm pretty sure somebody, some studio would very much like to take DXD right now and then just, you know, go ahead and make something with it. But in return, instead of trying to get something like that going, or something proper like a cool ass video game going, we don't get that, and instead we get some nonsense like, you know, this weird ass gacha game that obviously is nothing but a cheap cash grab. Like, if I'm gonna be real, I expect this type of tactic from a very much cheap 12 episode anime that is like very new and, you know, kind of come through and do something like that. I expect that of that, not of, you know, something like JoJo's or DXD or any other popular anime series that exists out there, because this really shouldn't be needed. This again really shouldn't be needed, right? And this is again one of those times where I'm like, this is one of those times where I feel like, why Japan has like the best IPs ever and then use them in the weirdest way possible, right? Because, like, for instance, My Hero, for just to throw it out as an example, right? My Hero, you had One's Justice and One's Justice 2, and then that Rumble game that's like the whole battle royale. Why the hell have you not handed your work over to CyberConnect 2 to let them do like an arena fighter or something like that, right? Why not? Granted, I understand they just had a Bleach game and they're probably gonna throw some DLC into that Bleach game as well, so I understand. But that being said, you should give that shit over to them, or to a developer that actually can make, you know, a good ass MHA fighting game, if that's what you're gonna do, right? No reason not to have that, you know? And plenty of other games where in anime where I feel like you can have this be in the mix and then they just choose not to do so, right? And then if they do so, they put these characters in like the weirdest shit that no one plays. Like I think Frieren just got announced for like PUBG Tactics in Japan. And I'm like, why does Frieren be here? Why does she be here? I don't understand. That feels a bit weird. I'm not gonna lie. Why does Frieren need a gun when she's like a powerful ass mage? Is the bullets magic? Is it magic bullets? Like, I don't get that. It's again very weird how a lot of these IPs are handled and how they're not used in like the coolest way possible, and they just really just sit here and just kind of like collect dust. I'm not gonna lie. Shonen Jump is probably one of the biggest, weirdest ones about it, right? Like, granted, yes, they did stuff like J-Stars and Jump Force, understandable, but at the very same time, those games didn't really do that well. You know, those games didn't do that well because I feel like they had the wrong developer. If they had, again, just throwing it out there, someone like Arc System Works that did like that one Kill la Kill game, or someone like, again, CyberConnect 2, or literally anybody else that wasn't Spike Chunsoft, I feel like they would dead ass make a really good ass game. You know, I feel like they would have made a really good ass game. And then at the very same time, it would have been nice to see more characters getting chucked into something like Jump Force that was in the previous game of J-Stars, or something even more like into the future of Jump and stuff like that. So again, there is like plenty of things where we could have here that could work out for these IPs and then the companies, and they get money and all that type of stuff, and that would be a really good time. Ultimately, for them to say, nah, we're good, and we're gonna do the cheapest thing possible, and everybody's gonna like it, and for whatever reason, we kind of just eat it up for whatever reason, essentially. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But overall, my point is, when it comes down to a game like this should not be, you know, how DXD should be represented. Right? If you wanted a DXD game, put a little effort into it and actually, because let's be real, Kadokawa has it. You know, they have like I think the publishing rights to, I guess, like use DXD for whatever reason. So they could probably go to somebody. They could probably ask like, hey, can we do something DXD related or something like that? And then immediately you probably get a good game or something out of them. Even if it's just the wackest game that even I don't play, like it's a card game or some type of board game or whatever. It doesn't matter. You can make something really good with this and have a fun ass time. Only for you to not do it. And it's weird, right? Even if it was something like that one Siren Cogger Reflection game from the Switch, when they had brought that out for the first time when the Switch was just brand new, like this whole, like, I guess, I don't want to say dating simulator, but like something like that. You could have something like that. That would have been perfectly fine. Ultimately, for them to not do something like that. Again, there is routes that you could do with a lot of these IPs, DXD especially, considering it's just hot women after hot woman after hot woman, but you just don't do it? Again, extremely weird. If this was me, this is not going to be the case. You're going to have something of the sort that's going to be worth a damn of my own damn characters at least, because this is just whack. This game is not it. It just isn't. And it's kind of hard to, you know, take it seriously too. And then much less want to support something like Season 5 for DXD. Because it literally just does not do anything. Right? After year after year after year. Right? And it wouldn't surprise me if people just start losing hope a bit too. You know? As much as I would still like to see another season and whatever. But it just wouldn't surprise me if that was ultimately the case. So, you know, there is definitely that too. I don't know, man. This just not it. This is not how I would thought DXD would need to be represented in any shape and form. But it is, and again, it's an unfortunate mess. I'm kind of like this. This is kind of how I was feeling when it came down to 100 Line Defense Academy, when I found out it was a tactics type game and all that type of stuff, and it kind of killed me wanting to just jump into it. I'm not gonna lie. Because I was just like, all right, just call me when, you know, we get like a Danganronpa like fighting game or an open world game or something of the sort that's actually like, you know, a bit fun for me personally. So that's kind of how I feel about this. Call me when they make a fighting game of DXD or some type of other game that actually makes sense for them to do, that would be fun to play, or even like a dating sim game. Give me that shit. Give me something like that, or a better gacha game, considering that also too do, if you really look at this shit compared to like, you know, what China has done and what South Korea has done, this is kind of ass. This should not be acceptable. I'm gonna be honest. Just call me when something else happens, right? That's a bit better than whatever the hell this game is. But that's really, I guess, all I wanted to say for this one. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way out, also on the socials. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, Kofi and Cash App is available as well. Until next week, boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.